Hi, my name is Jeannie and thank you for tuning into my channel. Today's 30-minute class will be gentle yoga for a tight lower back. It can feel so nice to come in and make some space in this part of the body. So come on along. You don't need any props for this, but as always, blocks are helpful. We will begin in child's pose. As you bring your big toes to touch, your knees can be as wide as the mat or together, and gently melt your chest and forehead to the mat. Your arms are extended in front of you. Palms are pressing down into the mat. Deep inhales through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Maybe rolling your forehead around on the mat gently and slowly for a little massage. And noticing if your lower back is lengthening and loosening as you melt down to the mat. When you inhale, see if you can fill the back body and see if you can melt a little bit further as you let the breath go. On your next inhale, lengthen towards the front of the mat and gently begin to walk your fingertips over towards the right. Your hips stay where they are. Your chest remains square to the mat. Pressing down through the left sit bone and the left hip back into space as you gently stretch and begin to open up the left side of the body. You can place your right palm on top of your left to deepen. Just make sure that your left sit bone stays pressing back. And on the exhale, begin to walk back through center. And gently bring your fingertips over to the left. Again, keeping your chest square and even towards the floor. As your right hip sit bone reaches back into space, pressing down to your feet, to your heels. Sending that breath all the way down the right side of the body. Keeping your shoulders relaxed back and down, not reaching or forcing, just melting. Beginning to open up. Sending the breath to the side and the back, and the armpit, and the chest. And gently bring it back to center. One more deep inhale, biggest one yet. And exhale, begin to round up as you come into a tabletop position with your palms directly underneath your shoulders and your knees directly underneath your hips. Toes can be tucked or pressing down to the mat. As we take a few cat-cows, as you begin to inhale, dropping the belly, lifting the chest. And exhale, pressing the earth away, rounding the spine, navel in towards the back and chest into chin. Inhale as you drop the belly, lift the gaze. Exhaling as you round. 2 more of these at your own pace, beginning to link breath to movement. These are incredibly good for your spine health as you begin to articulate through each vertebra, moving around the fluid and warming up the body. As we come back to neutral, 1 deep breath and 1 open mouth exhale, let something go. Begin to inhale as your left arm lifts up towards the sky. Open up your chest And exhale as you slide it through, threading the needle, and your temple comes down to the mat. Maybe extending through the right arm. Mounting that shoulder blade towards the mat. Tucking that right shoulder back onto the back body. Maybe the gaze lifts up underneath the armpits. Hips are staying directly over your knees. And begin to exhale as you bring your right palm back towards your face and you lift your left arm to the sky. And the palm comes down to meet the right. One deep inhale as you lift the right arm to the sky, opening up through the chest. And exhale, thread it through, melting your right temple down to the earth, maybe extending that left arm ahead. Breathing deep into the belly, melting the shoulder a little bit further towards the floor on every exhale. And on the next exhale, plant the palm next to the face and lift the right arm up to the sky and back down to the mat, tabletop. Begin to tuck the toes and gently pushing yourself slowly as you can as you lift the hips back up into a downward facing dog. Pressing down from that index to your thumb and the web in between. Knuckles are planted firmly to the mat and your heels melt towards the floor, keeping as much of a bend in the knee as your body calls for and working the legs towards straight. Doesn't matter if they get there. Inhale as you feel the breath flowing all the way down the spine up to the hips, and exhale through the mouth, let something go. Begin to inhale as you look forward and take as many little steps as it takes to get there as your feet come to meet the hands in a forward fold. Heel toe the feet a little bit wider than hip width distance and have a nice generous bend in the knee. Grab for opposite elbows and let the head and neck hang and the shoulders release. Maybe swaying from side to side. Weight is evenly distributed in the feet. Keeping a nice bend in the knees as your torso rests on the thighs. Inhale, your crown of your head reaches towards the floor, and exhale as you fold a little deeper. Release the palms to the floor and as slowly as you can, turn on your glutes and engage your belly and roll yourself up one vertebra at a time, stacking each bone on top of the other as your neck and head is the last thing to come up. Mountain pose. Palms shine forward. Close your eyes for a minute. Step your feet together. Noticing the difference between the postures we took as we were folded, now standing up tall and erect with posture. Feel the breath moving from the crown of your head all the way down your spine, your pelvis, your legs, and finally to your feet. Inhale as the arms float out, up and overhead. Pinkies are shining forward, arms are strong, your shoulders are back and down. Your pelvis is slightly tucked, your navel draws in towards the spine. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, hinging at the hips, keeping a bend in the knees as we fold. Inhale, fingertips find the shins as you come to a flat back. Gaze is down and a little bit in front of your yoga mat. Navel is pulling in towards the spine. Your sit bones are lifted and your back is so flat that if you placed a glass of wine, it would stay there. Inhale to lengthen the crown of the head towards the front of the room. Exhale, begin to plant the palms. Step back into a plank position with your palms directly underneath your shoulders. Belly is engaged. Inhale, drop the knees, and calm yourself back down to the floor. Take your palms and rest them underneath your forehead and let your ankles splay out to the side just for a moment. Inhale as you feel the space that we've created in your lower back. Exhale, begin to take your fingertips tented out and place them a bit wider than your yoga mat. Your forehead rests on the floor. And as you inhale, we'll take an oscillating cobra, engaging the glutes, using the back to rise. And exhale as you melt down to the floor. We'll do that 2 more times. As you inhale, pressing into the tops of the feet, knees lift. Exhale, melt down towards the floor. And we'll take this last one on your own breath. As you inhale, rising. And melting down to the floor. Palms next to the chest. Come back through tabletop and tuck the toes, lifting the hips back into downward facing dog. Inhale, gazing between the hands. Exhale, travel there. Inhale, fingertips find the shins flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, arms up and overhead. Exhale, palms to heart center. We'll flow our sun salutation A. As you inhale, your arms float out, up and overhead. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, plant the palms, step back into a plank. And keeping your elbows tight to your chest, you may come down to your knees, lower yourself all the way down. Bring your fingertips back out to a 10th, a little wider than the yoga mat. Inhale, oscillating cobra. And exhale, melting down. We'll take that 2 more times. At your own pace, linking breath to movement. And when you're ready, bring the palms next to the torso, pushing yourself back up into plank tabletop and then back down to a downward facing dog. Deep inhale. And open mouth, exhale, let something go. Lift the right leg back and up as you inhale. Exhale, look forward, rounding the spine and stepping the right leg in between the hands. Maybe giving yourself a little boost to get there. Begin to pivot the back foot towards a 45-degree angle or parallel, whatever is more comfortable in your body, and windmill yourself up into Warrior 2. Your chest and your hips are open towards the side of the room, and your torso is stacked directly over your pelvis, and your knee is tracking directly over your second toe. Be mindful that it's not moving inward. Back leg is strong, long lines of energy pushing out, and the feet are energetically magnetizing in as you lift yourself up, supporting yourself just as much as gravity is pushing down. Inhale to get a little taller. Exhale, begin to straighten the front leg, maybe shortening your stance. Bring your right arm to your hips as you begin to lean over the front leg gently, maybe staying here, or maybe extending that bottom arm down to meet the shin, the ankle, or the earth. Long, straight line here, not dumping or crunching into the right side, but staying open. Your chest is open, your gaze can be up or down. Navel is pulling in towards the spine and your legs are staying strong, keeping that micro bend in the front leg, pressing down through the big toe. One more breath here. And exhale, begin to bend into the front knee and bring the palms down to frame the foot. Coming back into a plank position, dropping to the knees, chest, chin. This time, extend up to an up dog and coming back into downward facing dog your way. Deep inhale through the nose and open mouth exhale. Begin to lift the left leg as you inhale and exhaling, stepping it through the hands. Finding your balance here, pulling your navel in towards the spine, engaging your core and firing up the legs and windmilling the arms open up into a warrior two. Again, keeping your torso directly over your hips and your pelvis. Maybe flipping the palms up and back and down to remind yourself to relax your shoulder blades down the back. Even though your arms are engaged and strong, gaze is directly over the fingertips. One more breath here to get a little higher and longer through the spine. And exhale, begin to straighten through the front leg. Again, bringing your left arm to the left hip and leaning over the leg. Keeping your glutes engaged, not just dumping in the pelvis, but keeping everything tight so you can support yourself and letting your arm find whatever point is right for your body and spiraling your chest open to the sky, triangle pose. This pose not only lengthens through your lower back, but it also strengthens your legs, your core, your abdominals, and those muscles in the lower back to help support us and create healthy posture. Your neck is long and your shoulders are down where they're supposed to be. And gently begin to bend into that front leg as you close off your chest, coming back into a low lunge and stepping back into plank or tabletop and lowering yourself all the way down to the mat. Pressing up into upward facing downward cobra and finding your way back into a downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward in between the hands. Exhale, drop to the knees. Swivel around on your hips so you're sitting on your bum. We'll take Baddha Konasana legs as your knees come out to the side and your feet are together. Just breathing here, letting the heart rate come back down. Gently holding the ankles or the knees, maybe putting 2 blocks under your knees if that feels comfortable. We'll be here for a few breaths. Now, with a straight spine, begin to gently sway from side to side, keeping your sit bones grounded. Feeling that gentle pull through your quadratus lumborum, those muscles in the lower back, the deep tissue. This can feel so tight when we've been doing a lot of sitting or maybe lifting heavy things or housework, so many reasons. Just swaying side to side as you breathe. And come back to center. One deep inhale to lengthen the spine, crown of the head towards the sky. And exhale, hinging down, rounding down, full fold. Roll your vertebrae one at a time. And take your hands on either sides of your knees and close them like a book. Go ahead and extend your right leg forward, directly out in front of you. Maybe sitting on a rolled up towel here to support yourself and removing the flesh from underneath your sit bones so you feel them directly on the mat. Bend your left knee in towards your chest and gently place it on the outside of your right knee so your legs are crossing. As we are taking a gentle twist here, we will take our right arms and hook your knee with your elbow, just gently hugging in the knee to help you sit up a little bit taller. And take the left fingertips behind you. Gentle twist. Very important to keep the right foot flexed to protect the knee. And see if you can press down through that left big toe as you spiral your crown of the head a little bit more towards the sky. Breathing deep into the belly to help detoxify our organs and creating space as we twist and decompress. And exhale, begin to come back to center and uncrossing the legs. One breath here in the middle. We'll take that gentle twist on the other side as you take your right knee and place it on outside of your left. And begin to hug that right knee in towards the chest as you place your back fingertips behind you. Sitting up tall and using the support of your right arm to spiral you towards the sky. When we twist, is it not only healthy for those muscles in our lower back, but also when we come out of a twist, as we are compressing our organs, fresh blood is sent immediately to all those spaces, cleansing it out and bringing new oxygen. It can be great for digestion. And exhaling, coming back to center. And your arms out in front of you. Sit your hips a little bit further closer to the top of the mat and bend your knees as you use your core to roll yourself down one vertebra at a time. Take your feet as wide as the mat and just gently let your knees knock in together. This pose takes your lower back and just opens it up, feeling that new space that we've created in your body. And take the knees closer together. And we'll take a figure four. We'll take the left ankle and place it directly over the right thigh. Begin to reach for either the back of the thigh or the front of the shin, whatever's available, as long as you keep your tailbone pressing down to the mat. Both feet are flexed, and you can use your left elbow to press your left leg away and deepen the stretch into the hips. Neck is long and your gaze stays directly in front of you. Maybe closing the eyes and beginning to drop in. Sending that breath all the way down to the belly and the tailbone as it presses into the mat, and exhaling as you deepen. Begin to let go of the legs, and we'll take on the other side. As you cross your right ankle over your left thigh, and again reaching for the back of the thigh or the shin. Opening up through the hips. Tight hips are one of the main reasons for lower back pain and ache. These can be so tight on so many of us. And let the feet come back to the mat. Now for our final pose, we will take plow, where if that is not available to you, please come down to the mat and hug your knees into chest and give yourself a gentle massage by rolling side to side. If you would like to move into this gentle inversion, begin to plant your palms firmly into the mat, pressing down through your forearms. Your neck is long and your shoulder blades are back and down as you broaden through the collarbones. Inhale as your legs come up in an L shape, and exhale as you begin to gently push your legs over, up and overhead as your toes melt towards the floor. Maybe clasping your hands. Very important to keep your gaze directly in front of you. Your neck is long. Even though we're in a deep fold, imagine that your chest is open. And begin to use your core to take your legs up and over, maybe assisting with the hands in the lower back. And bending the knees in towards the forehead and rolling down one vertebra at a time as your legs find the floor. Final resting pose, Shavasana, as your ankles come out towards the side, maybe even a little wider than your mat, and your arms splay out. Palms are facing open. Deep inhale through the nose, and exhale out the mouth. Letting everything settle back down to the floor. As your body realigns itself with all the new space. I highly encourage you to take a few moments here, as long as your day allows, in this final resting meditation. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I hope to see you again soon. Namaste.